Hi everybody, my name is Skeeve Stevens and I am one of the founders of VR the World. I call myself the reality architect. Today we're going to be talking about virtual reality cameras, the consumer editions. Okay, now there aren't many cameras on the market at the moment. There's a few, but not a lot of choice today if you want to do proper virtual reality. Now that Facebook and a whole bunch of others are starting to do 360 videos, people are really excited. Now, while I've got a few cameras here is primarily the three that are the most common and easy to get, depending on where you are. Now, I'm going to start with this. This is the Ricoh Theta S. There is a lesser model that comes in pretty little colors. I think it's the MI15 something like that. Don't worry about them. They can do 5 minutes of video. They're a lot shorter and everything else in memory and everything. That doesn't really make a difference. These are beautiful. I fell in love with these. I got them mid to late last year, and I believe the form factor of this is absolutely amazing. It has its issues, but like the early adopter market, it's pretty cool. But look at this camera. It's actually got, this is like not just it's not like a plasticky feel. It's kind of like a rubber. It actually feels really good, and you don't drop it that much. So I mean, this one is pretty easy. You can turn it on. Now it's very simple here. You've got a button. If it's in photo mode, that's a 360 photo. Now, it's got my hands in it. This has got the lenses. I'm not actually sure what the lens degree is. I think they're about 190s. Sorry, I should have looked that up. But one of the cool things about these is the actual format. Now, if you're using one of these in real estate, you can be carrying a tripod with you, something like this. You can get a smaller version. Wander in. You've got 3 things on the bottom here. You've got a standard tripod mount, HDMI, which is for live broadcasting, and a few other things. It's not bad. And your USB. So you can just put that camera on there. Yeah. Primarily, actually, this is the front, generally. So I always make sure that's if I've got something that I need to focus on, as opposed to being everywhere, I face it that way. So the best thing about this is you can pick up your phone and you can go away and you connect to it via Wi-Fi. This actually acts as a Wi-Fi hotspot, and you can have a look what's going on and you can take photos. Now in the photo space, it's got a lot of choices. You know, ISO, EV, correction levels, lights, a whole bunch of other things. And you can actually do quite a lot. I don't know how much space, I think it's about 8 gig inside it, but it's non-removable and not battery replaceable. But they are beautiful. So if you're a professional, and we've seen these used in many interesting scenarios. Okay, so these fit in a suit pocket. I love that. This format is absolutely amazing and beautiful. The stitching is actually sublime. Now, while I sound like I'm in love with this camera, I'm actually, there is some faults. Not every relationship is a good one. These lenses. If you look at this lens here right now, you'll see a few scratches. I've got to go and get that dealt with. Both sides. If you don't put it in your little condom all the time, unless it sits up like this and it falls over, you're going to scratch your lenses. Now that doesn't make for a great experience. So if you can keep this in here most of the time, you're fine. But who's going to be able to do that? So I often just leave it in my pocket like this. So the lenses being scratched sucks. It should have been able to be replaced. I'm going to have to go down and figure out some lens de-scratcher. I think I've been looking on the internet and there's ways to do it. I hope that's really good. So that's one of the big negatives, is easy to scratch. One of the other things that really frustrates me is the fact that you connect to it via Wi-Fi, which means nothing else happens. It means you can't be on it, send things online, but it is the fastest way to transfer files. It's got good stereo sound on the top. Now, the biggest problem with this is video. Yes, it does video. But all those functionality that I just told you about before, light levels and everything, you can do nothing in video. Nothing. Yet. That said, the whole yet is interesting. Software upgradable. Now, the best thing about this camera, besides the format, which I love, and the fact it's a 4K camera, is full API. If you're a developer and you want to write your own apps, so let's say you work for a real estate company and you wanted to write your own app which used these to collect, someone was selling a house, came up with some sort of product like that, they had one of these, or you sent them one out and you went go into the room and take that there, take it there. You can be digesting the images straight out of the API into the camera, into your software package, which you could add a whole bunch of other features. Now, that is awesome. API, good developer community playing around about. The only thing you don't have access to is the stitching algorithm. Now, that said, the stitching algorithm is awesome. It's their secret sauce. It actually works really, really well. Now, the best example I can give of that, if you, let's say here, if you do sideways, right, front on, no problem. If you do sideways and you're stitching between these two lenses, which is this arc here, if you are sitting here, it'll look good, but you'll be missing a few letters. If you get to about here, anything beyond about 25, 30 centimeters, stitching is perfect. Stitching is almost pristine. You cannot even tell a lot of these stitching if you're not sitting around. Funniest thing about this, because it's 360 by 360, which means it's not just here, it's also here, the lens is curved down, this actually takes itself out. Right here, you'll see there's a little bit of shadow from the light. That's all you'd see in a photo from a theta. As you look down in the headset or on the internet, you'll see a little shadow. That is fantastic. Okay? Great camera, great format. I'd say everyone should be carrying these. In real estate, people and plumbers, if you want to look down drains. We've got a drone modified with this mount to be able to actually hang that from it. They're really light, and so forth. Now, amazing. So about $600. They've got to come out with a new version soon. It's bound to be even better. Not waterproof, unless you use this. Now this is its waterproof thing. Put that on another mount. Put it in here. Funniest condom in existence for a camera. There you go. Now, that is absolutely shocking. I've taken some photos from inside this. The curvature of the actual plastic. It's plastic, if it was glass and it was perfect, that might make it different. But it's not that great. So I wouldn't even spend money on it unless, I just think that the plastic quality is just not fantastic and clear enough that if you look through it, it's all... So, very funny, but I prefer an actual waterproof camera like the Nikon Key Mission that's coming. So, great camera, got some issues, but got some amazing functionalities. Now, I've only just got this. This is the Samsung Gear 360. As of today, they're still not available in Australia. I managed to schnaffle one from overseas, thanks to my friend Max. And this has so much potential. Now, I'm going to say that. Potential. Because it's not great yet. It's good. It's not great. Interesting thing, the best thing is standard mount. Put it here. You're going to do a proper shoot. You can remotely control it. A nice thin skinny mount will actually have you missing most of it. Now, it's actually shockproof. So, I hope that's drop-proof. It's got an interesting little tripod mount that it comes with it, which is actually not too bad. It's a little slippery for what I would like carrying it around in your hand. I think something a bit longer to get things a bit of away, but you can put them on the end of selfie sticks. It's not as light as I would have liked it. I would say this is probably almost double this. So this is not bad on the bottom of a drone because of its weight. This one's still a bit heavy. Anyway, so let's talk about some of the other features. Now, the very interesting thing about this, it's got NFC. You touch your phone to it, automatically pairs. Pop that. Placeable batteries. Excellent. 32 gig. I've got a 32 gig memory card. I think you can put up to 200s and USB to charge while it's in the housing. Now, that is a couple of awesome features that makes the data look retarded. Now, love it, love it, love it. Now, it's not waterproof. I would have loved waterproof. And Samsung knows how to make waterproof. Look at the S7. Now, one of the differences between this and this is that this stitches on camera. This doesn't. This gives the raw format picture to the phone, and that does the stitching. And that's an interesting thing. Now, the very interesting thing about this dual lens is you can actually film with a single dual. It's got great settings, time lapse, which my wife has been using in the gym. If you check out the VR the World Facebook page, you can see her bouncing around. Now, I haven't tried time lapse in 360 inside a headset. I don't know how that make you feel. Now, let's talk a bit comparison. The lenses in this are beautiful. They're clearer, more clearer than the Theta, but stitching leaves a little bit to be desired at the moment. But that's nothing that Samsung can't actually go and fix with software. So as soon as possible, preferably, please, Samsung, it's like a little droid. You start it on the back button, you hold it down, it bleeps at you. If you want, you can start recording straight away. So let me just put my little dongle tripody thing in. So I'm in video mode. I can take a photo, 5 seconds. So it's taken a photo. I can go to different menu, time lapse, video looping, video. Hit start. So that's now going to start. So this is the recording in 360 that I'll show as an after effect, and you'll be able to see over here, and you'll see the beautiful Shanti Corporal. You'll see all the network equipment here at one of my other offices, and a whole bunch of other interesting information around the place. That's the scary secret about you see in 360 video, you see everything that's hiding around the place. So it's going to be very interesting to see what it's like me holding this camera as opposed to putting it on a tripod mount or something like that. So, key thing, don't turn it. You don't need to. So, that's a stock filming. Now, you'll be able to pull that over. The great thing about this is it doesn't seem to use Wi-Fi to transfer it. I haven't had a lot of investigation, I'm sorry. But I think it uses NFC, it uses Bluetooth, but you can still stay on your Wi-Fi network. So that's certainly a massive plus over this. No API that I know. No amazing amount of photo and video functionality yet that I know. Simple basic functions, but a great bit of hardware. It's a little heavier than I would have liked. And I think they're going to sell like hotcakes. This is the first VR camera that I know that was scalped in South Korea so much and put straight onto eBay and selling at a premium up to $300 to $400. They were selling these at over 1,000 Australian dollars in South Korea within days of coming out. I got this one overseas, paid normal retail prices because I knew where to find it, but that is a bit ridiculous. That's how much in demand these little babies were. Now, it's pretty, it's nice, you've got to keep it in this little bag, I guess. It's supposed to be shock proof. I don't know, it's like fingerprint proof. We'll see over time. The lens is clearer. We had some photos the other day. We had this and this sitting next to each other, and Shanti was sitting at the table and she had a tattoo. Much clearer in this, but the stitching wasn't as good. So when they fix that, that's going to be pretty amazing. Now, I'm talking about these cameras because they're the most common available. Now, the other one that claims to be a virtual reality camera, even has the virtual reality goggles being sold with it, is the 360 Fly. It's a single lens piece of crap. You know, I hate it. From a virtual reality perspective, it is junk. Don't buy it. You know, it is absolutely hopeless. They don't even have a Gear VR app. Turning it back into a format that can be seen on other things is useless. But in an industrial perspective, retail perspective, business world, it's not a bad case. If you're in if you've got a store or an environment that you want to monitor, and you would normally like to have a camera, without having to worry about pan, tilt, zoom, that type of thing, then the 360 Fly is an interesting option. Stick one of those little cameras, being able to look anywhere you need to. It's IP connected, a variety of other things, but that's great. It's a security camera, and a very, very good one, I would believe at that. But as a VR camera, it's junk. Don't buy it. I took one on a holiday with me for weeks. I had in Mystery Island in Vanuatu, and I was recording in the sand, and I was recording in the trees, and I was recording everywhere, and the footage was absolutely crap. Single lens, bad quality. I used it on a television show that was being recorded. It lost its data, and the quality, the resolution, because that little the lens on top, it would hit, the lights would hit it, and it was just useless, absolutely useless. So while you can buy it in Australia, they've got them in JB Hi-Fi's and everything like that. Piece of junk, especially for the $600-700 of just throwing against the wall. Okay, but these ones, they're the only two. That's the only one you can actually walk into camera stores if they're in stock and buy in Australia. This one, soon, about to hit the markets, and that's all you've really got, I'm afraid. There will be others soon. The Nikon Key Mission, it's about that size, but it's talking to me. It's turning stuff off. But unfortunately, there was an earthquake in Japan that took out a few of the lens factories, I believe, or something like that, and they've been delayed. I don't know how much is that going to affect other things, but Nikon's a Japanese company where Theta, maybe it'll affect Theta supply as well, I'm not sure. But thankfully these are South Korean, and maybe their supply comes from elsewhere. Or maybe that's why they haven't hit the market yet. I don't really know. Now, the Key Mission, 30 meters, I believe, waterproof. Can't wait for it. That's what I'm waiting for, a waterproof one of these. Be very interesting how they see it. I'm a scuba diver. I would love to take it down. Yeah, it's very interesting. Now these are all in the $600-ish, $500-600-ish, $500-600-ish. But the Key Mission is supposed to be a bit more. I heard it was sitting at $1,000 or $1,500 level. Not sure. It did appear in some of the catalogs in the cameras stores, but then disappeared. There is other cameras that's a little bit off. So I've called these consumer. These aren't prosumer. They're not like Canon 1Ds or something like that, or Canon 350Ds, 400Ds, 500Ds, whatever they are these days. These are consumer cameras, and you're going to get consumer features. They're not prosumer, so I believe that the Key Mission might enter the prosumer world, or there's an amazing camera called the Ura 4i. I think it's 4NI, I'm not sure. Made by the guys that made Video Stitch, the stitching software. That is supposed to be nearly 2,500-3,000. Be able to do live broadcasting. It's 4K. It's beautiful. It's tiny. A whole bunch of different things like that. That's probably where you're entering the prosumer space. And there's a few other cameras. So real professional rigs, they can range from anywhere from a few $1,000s, all the way up to extreme, 200,000 Australian dollars. I saw one the other day using some special Blackmagic cameras, 42 cameras in a rig. Going. Then you've got the Nokia Ozo, which is about that size. That was 100,000 Australian dollars. Okay, well, there you go, guys. They're the key consumer cameras available in the market. It's in June 2016 at the moment. There's bound to be others appearing, maybe new models of this. That's about to hit the market. Fly might come out with a model that has got dual lenses and might be useful. I don't know. I do know they're making a built-in drone one with 2 lenses. Maybe one of the other cameras will hit the market. Other than that, you can make your own rigs with a couple of GoPros and everything, but you're unlikely to get very far, especially if you don't have the self-stitching software. This is Skeeve Stevens from VR The World, helping you out with what's in the market today.